I have a name for my penis. I call him William W. Willikers, or Mr. Willikers for short. I am a very big Star Trek fan, or I was a long time ago. I'm still a big Star Trek fan, but I was a huge, uber nerd Star Trek fan when I was a kid. I was a big fan of Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy. Oh my god, just, you know, I wanted to be Mr. Spock. I had Spock dolls, Spock everything. So I got the chance in 1996 to go to the 30th anniversary convention in Sacramento, California. And I went dressed as Spock. Got the haircut, uniform, ears, everything. And we were going to get to meet Shatner, Captain Kirk, Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock, and DeForest Kelley, Dr. McCoy, you know, the big three. So I bought 2 posters, and I was going to have them autograph them and stuff. And anyways, we get to the convention, and Shatner shows up early for the talking part that's in front, before the autograph thing. And he's just, you know, he's Shatner. You're just enthralled with him. He's up there and he's like, "Good evening, everyone. I'm William Shatner, and, you know, let me tell a story for you right now about how I banged this chick in my hotel room. Ooh, ooh, ooh." And, you know, while up on stage, he proceeded to jostle around so much that his famous and rather obvious toupee slid down on his head, and he even split his pants a little bit. You can hear it rip when he did this sort of squat maneuver. But anyways, we get backstage, and Nimoy and DeForest Kelley have shown up, and there's a line of about 300 people who got to do the autograph thing, and, you know, everyone's going up. And Shatner is just mowing through the autographs, like, yeah, get out of here, yeah, do. So anyways, there's this woman in front of me, beautiful, beautiful woman, gigantic boobs. She's from Italy, and she's like, oh my god, I come all the way from Italy to see you, Mr. Shatner. I love you, I love this Star Trek, and I love you. And, you know, he just looks at her and is like, "Oh, yeah, that's great, yeah, Shatner, no, go away." And, so, well, you know, if he does that to her, being the womanizer that he is, what is he going to say to me? So, I get up to Shatner, and, I'm like, "Oh, hey, I'm a big fan, I love your work, and I came all the way from North Carolina to see you." And he's like, he scribbles his name, and not even William Shatner, Bill Shatner. He scribbles his name, and he looks up at me, and he goes, "Oh, really? Move along." I don't know. I just, you know. So I did move along. Nimoy and DeForest Kelley were great. They were very nice. Wonderful people. They spoke nicely to the fans, and they took their time. Very nice. So anyways, after Shatner mows through, little known sort of thing, you know, DeForest Kelley died shortly after this convention. So Shatner gets up from autographing stuff, and these 2 women come over and put a leather jacket on him. And he walks over a little bit and looks back at Nimoy and DeForest Kelley, and he goes, "No, it was great to see you 2 as always. Bones, you look like death. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo," and then walks out. You know, naturally, you know, DeForest Kelley dies later, you know. And Shatner was just the biggest asshole, egomaniacal person in the world. And after that, I stopped liking Spock and fell in love with Captain Kirk. I became obsessed. He was just such a force of nature, a force of assholishness, that it made me want to be him. It made me want to be that egomaniacal thing. I just loved it. I don't know why. I just don't know why. But that's probably why I am the person I am today. I jog 8 to 16 miles a day. I once masturbated in a funeral home. Not only in a funeral home, in a coffin. It was during we were having a funeral for a relative that I didn't really know. This was when I was very young. And I went away from that because that was boring. And I found the room where they keep the coffins at, and I climbed inside of one and masturbated in it. Yeah. At the peak of my fatness, let me describe a meal to you that I would devour. 2-liter bottle of Sundrop, a 50-piece chicken nugget, a Mexican pizza, and an order of cinnamon twist from Taco Bell, and a pint of House Special fried rice, all at one time. I was fat. I mean, fat. I was fatter than hell. Hell fat. Another, here's how dedicated I am to my craft of filming. One night I was at home late one night, and I had this horrible pain. And I was like, oh, well, you know, it must be gas or something. That's just, but it got worse and worse and worse. It was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I mean, something I can't even describe it. It was that horrible. It was like someone shoving broken glass up your ass and into your spleen. That's how painful it was. So it got worse and worse and worse, and we went to the hospital, and they're like, oh, nothing's wrong with you. Go home and take a Zantac. And I was like, well, I know something's wrong with me because this hurts like fuck, and give me something for it. But no, they're like, oh, you just go home. So go see your doctor in the morning. So I stayed up all night in horrible pain, went to see my doctor the next day, and he's like, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong. You just need a Zantac. You just need some antacid. And it's like, I know there was something wrong with me, goddammit. And so needless to say, they sent me to a specialist. And I wish, you know, I had videotaped this because this was humorous. And they were doing an ultrasound on me. And they're looking and looking and looking, and finally the nurse who's doing this is like, oh, well, yeah, no, and I don't see any, and her face goes white, and she just gets all puckered, and she's like, I'm going to get the doctor, come look at this, I'm going to get him, I'll be right back. The doctor comes in, and he's like, oh, well, let's see what's going on. Oh, my God. And so it turns out that my gallbladder had exploded, releasing thousands of stones into my, my body area. And apparently it had formed on the wrong side or something. That's why they didn't notice it. Anyways, I vomited in their lobby as revenge. And then they had surgery on me, took out the gallbladder. And immediately after the surgery, I had been in the middle of filming something before all this happened. So naturally I wanted to get back to it. Immediately after the surgery, they're like, you know, don't do anything strenuous for 2 days. Don't do this, you know, whatever. You're not allowed to do anything for 2 weeks. And it's like, yeah, okay, all right. So, you know, the day I get back home, of course, naturally, I start jumping off my roof and, you know, all that shit. So, you know, I love filming. It's what I do. It's who I am. Movies is good. I really like guns. I think they're hot. My favorite gun is the .475 Wildy Magnum with the 18-inch barrel. Yeah. Swimming is my favorite recreational sport. My favorite anime is Cowboy Bebop. Love that show. I'll admit it, I have shit my pants once. I am wearing short shorts. My all-time favorite movie is Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. Despite repeated tries from many people, I have never been successfully kicked in the balls. I really enjoy doing nudity in my films. If there was one person that I really hate, like an entertainment person, it's Kristen Stewart, the star of the Twilight films. I just hate her. Seeing her face makes me ill, and hearing her voice actually has caused me to crap my pants. I'm Kristen Stewart. Vampires, there's vampires, they're cold, and they're hot, and they're sexy, but I'm afraid of them, but not all at the same time. Vampires. Vam. When she acts, if you can call it that, it just sounds like she's upchucking, she's dry heaving the words out of her mouth, and I think really if I ever met her, I'd smack her. I'd smack her right in the face. Well, I think that's the end of my little rant here. You have learned some things about me, things you probably didn't want to know. Not that you necessarily wanted to know anything about me. But lap it up, because I'm not going to do this much, not my thing. There you go. Blame OCP004, Mike Brown, for this, and Sam Fashion, because I saw his thing this morning. And it made me remember to do this. So, there you go. And that's a little bit about me, Damien Sage. And I'm going to go film something in character as someone else now to cleanse myself of this horrificness. So, excuse me, and, I'll see you guys later.